The lack of a reliable absence management system can lead to high cost, risk, and productivity effects that come up from employee absenteeism. Organizations need to manage these diverse and complex requirements that come up from managing absence policies for a wide range of employees.
HCM Cloud Absence Management can definitely manage all the different complex absence requirements that you need. You're able to configure absence plans, which actually get rid of your manual processes, which lead to a lot of high cost when you have to manage with manual processes. You also have the ability to implement these absence processes based on your policies. And you also have visibility into your absence balances and details without risking privacy. A little bit more about absence management is, again, you can define your absence plans and also your absence entitlements. You also can view balances on any device. So on a desktop, on a phone, on a tablet, you have the ability to access your information where you need. You're also able to manage your compliance needs with your flexible, robust rules engine within absence management to be able to manage all of the specific needs when it comes to your agency with your absence balances and accrual rates.
So I've heard that customers need to set up different types of leaves with different types of accrual rates for different types of people. Is this something we can help them with?
Absolutely. In fact, you can set up as many accrual plans, absence plans as you need with specific eligibility attached to each one of them and specific rate calculations for your specific population. So if you have a specific group of people that need to have a very specific type of accrual rate that are located in a specific building or department, you can isolate that specific population through eligibility profiles, and you can develop your absence plan to accrue based on those specific business rules that you have. Okay, so let's go ahead and go into a demonstration of absence management. And we're going to go into absence administration. We're going to take a look at some of the absence plans that exist. Let me just go into a specific legislative data group and just show you some samples of some of the different plans you can create. This is just a configured list. You can have as many as you need based on your specific agency's need. So you can see, for example, we have some for jury duty, we have pension leave, short-term disability, we have sick, lots of different types of leaves, bereavement, FMLA. We'll talk a little more about FMLA as we go through the demonstration. I'm going to focus on vacation here. And we're going to go in specifically to the vacation plan and show you the different attributes and setup for absence management with this specific vacation plan. So you can see that this description, it's a vacation accrual. The status of it is active. You can create different plans and then deactivate them if they're not needed for a certain while, and then reactivate them as you need to. Do you allow concurrent entitlements to go along with the specific absence? What's the unit of measure? In this case, this one happens to be hours. And also, what's the plan term? Is it a fiscal year? Is it based on a calendar year or an anniversary date? You choose. And also, when does it start? Day one of the first month, etc. In this example, it's based on calendar year. So these are the basic plan attributes. Let's look at the actual participation. In other words, who can be a part of this absence plan? For example, when it comes to enrollment, when can people start? As of event. So when they become eligible, they are able to enter. You can choose to have different types of enrollments. Also, you can define waiting periods, etc. Now, with balanced disposition, so if somebody becomes ineligible for this absence plan, this specific type of vacation, whether it be through a transfer to a different type of position within the agency, or they're leaving the agency, you can make decisions on what you do with that. For example, do you disperse positive balances? Do you transfer positive balances? Or do you recover negative balances? You have these different choices. Or on employment termination, you have these same options as well. So you can see how it can be really flexible to do exactly what you need to do, because some plans you may have certain rules. These rules may not apply to other types of plans as well. So with transfer rules, you can set limit rules, proration rules. You can also even set re-enrollment rules. So the flexibility is quite big there. Now, when it comes to eligibility, you can set up eligibility profiles and assign them to these absence plans so you can dial in a very specific population for your absence plan. So your eligibility profile defines the population based on employment criteria, personal criteria. It could be job, position, location, age, seniority, you name it. That eligibility profile, once defined, you assign it to your plan. In this example, we have this eligibility profile for this vacation plan. Next, we're going to actually talk about the calculations and the accruals that take place. So when it comes to accrual attributes, you can set it up via matrix, which I'll show you the matrix below, or you can set it up via formula. So you can use fast formula to really dial in your specific calculations. Payment percentage. Is this absence 100% paid? Is it 66% paid? For example, if it was, say, a long-term disability absence, you have the ability to designate. And your plan limits. Do you have any ceiling rules, any type of ceiling amounts? What's the maximum they can accrue within their vacation plan? In this example, this one has no more than 210 hours as a flat amount. Also, year-end processing. You can determine rollover, limit prorations, lots of different calculations. So in this one, we have a carryover limit of 40 right here. All right. Now, I talked a little bit about the matrix to help decide the calculations here. This matrix, this accrual matrix, is actually a really great feature to be able to dial in the type of calculation you have. And so I have a simplified matrix down here. And if you can see right here, this uses what's called length of service greater than or equal to 3 years to increment from this accrual amount to this accrual amount. So every cycle that vacation is accrued, once a person hits 3 years in this example, they start accruing at a higher rate. So you can see the idea. Well, let me show you the expression builder where you can actually set up these specific rules here. You can use a lot of different criteria. So for example, under derived factors, you can use age, you can use hours worked factors, compensation level factors, or length of service factors. You can use person-based information. So for example, location, you can use job, business unit. So you have all of these different criteria. Once you identify the specific criteria for a specific rate of calculation, you specify it within the matrix itself. All right, so we've talked about who's eligible, we've talked about how it's going to get calculated. Let's go look at entries and balances. So for example, when it comes to discretionary distributions, you have the ability to allow employees or managers and HR administrators as well, the ability to disperse different balances, whether it be to ask for payout on this particular accrual or donation as well. So you designate who has access to perform this. In this specific example, you can see that the employees have the ability to choose a payout for vacation, and managers can choose it on behalf of employees as well. And when it comes to donation, you can do the same right here. And also you have different rules based on rates. And also what's very important is, as with all of HCM Cloud, the system is completely integrated. So absence management is no different. It's completely integrated with cloud payroll. So you designate the payroll element that is assigned to this specific absence plan.
So customers often say that they need to stay up to date with their accrual leave balances. Is this something that we can provide with Oracle HCM?
Absolutely. In fact, employees, managers, and HR administrators all have access into absence details and absence balances to be able to keep track of their balances. So for example, through employee self-service, as an employee, I would have access to be able to see how much vacation I have left, how much sick time I have left, or whatever other leave balances that are important to me. Managers also have this ability. You set this up for access via role-based security. So you make the decisions on who has access to what information. And of course, HR administrators would have access to a broader scope of information, all protecting privacy through role-based security. So let's take a look at an actual person record, and we'll go into managing absences as an HR administrator so we can see what balances look like and also what some of the details of absences look like for this person. So I'm going to look up a particular employee here, and we're going to go into their absences detail and take a look at their absence records. All right, so we're in Megan Miller's record, and we can see right here any existing absences. We don't see any right now, but what I can do is I can expand the time frame to be able to look at the entire history of this person's absence history. So there may not be something recent, but there is history there from a longer term in the past. And sure enough, I can see right here, there's some long-term disability, some short-term disability, and some sick time. So right here as an HR administrator, I have access to their absence history. Vacations would appear here. Other types of absences would appear here based on your personal configuration. We also can see balances here. So the current balances for accrual plans, vacation and sick and the like. We also have the ability to look at qualified entitlements, those types of absences where you need to have a qualification event for, usually some type of disability. FMLA or Family Medical Leave Act also appears here as well, so you can configure that as well. So let's take a look at a couple of these. I'm going to go into the short-term disability action because what I want to illustrate the point is that absence management does a very good job at being able to manage concurrent requests or concurrent absences such as family medical leave. So if someone's out on a short-term disability, family medical leave, if needed, can run concurrent and automatically with that leave. And I'm going to show you an example of where that's configured here. So for example, this specific short-term disability event automatically kicked in family medical leave. So we can see right here from these activity start and end dates, we had short-term disability, but family medical leave or FMLA kicked in automatically. You can see the payment percentage for short-term disability is at 100, FMLA is at 0, and it automatically pulled from the accruals for this type of qualification. And you can see here, we also have the ability to look at the long-term disability as well. So let's take a look at the long-term disability event. We're going to look at our plan use. So the short-term disability moved into long-term disability, and you can see that family medical leave also kicked in there. Long-term disability was designed to be paid at a 66% rate, and FMLA continued to accrue until it ran out. So absence management with an HCM cloud is extremely integral to the entire HCM cloud process, completely integrated within the HCM cloud suite. And you're able to, for your agency, create basic absence plans as well as very complex absence plans to meet the needs of your policies and your populations within your organization.